Who's ready for the weekly bust? You're in the right place if you came to catch the show. Tithe and Levi are the names of your host. Who the next guest is, I really wanna know. Conversation escalating, let's get to the show. Who's ready for the weekly bust?
Oh, what's up? This is Marc Rizzo, and you're watching The Weekly Bust.
Season 3, episode 26 of The Weekly Bust. We are live in studio with Marc Rizzo of Nino.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, my man? How are you? How are you?
Great. Good to be here.
Thanks for coming, dude.
Yeah, it's exciting, dude. This is our first live in a while. Shout
It
out
is.
to Ryan Perez.
We've done a lot of virtuals lately, so it's cool to have someone in the studio. Like he was saying, Ryan Perez was last in here, and he had a ton of entourage, and it was wild. It was madness, and it usually takes a while to get going.
Oh, yeah. Like 2
Cool.
hours.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to jump right in, man. You're a legend, dude. You've been with some legendary bands. You're a legendary guitarist. You really do shred it. You just been sitting here playing with my wife's guitar. Like you tuned it real quick, and you're like, oh yeah, this all right. I'm gonna just shred. And this is what I have some secret footage you'll get later. If you want to give us some details for the viewers who might not know who you are, this is a good opportunity to kind of connect with the audience.
Yeah. Name is Marc Rizzo. Played in a lot of different bands over the years, specifically Only Nìno, SoulFly, a lot of different other misfits for a minute. But I mostly, my main thing is my instrumental guitar music. That's kind of what I do, in between all the other projects I have, and it's why I'm here in Montana, is because I'm doing about 3 or 4 shows here with Sober Up Productions. And it's always a great time here in Montana.
Shout out,
so, yeah. I'm just a guitar fanatic, basically. That's it.
You were excited when you're like, "There's a guitar in here, man." I was like,
That's why I said, when we were on the way here, I was like, "Man, are they gonna have a guitar here?" Because I've been flying all day and I've been dying to just play guitar.
I was nervous about bringing it. I'm just gonna say that. I was like, "Babe, I don't know." I was like, he just got off a plane. He's just coming to a podcast, and you got excited. I was like, "Dope, cool,
Right?
score, way to win, wife."
Hell yeah.
Thanks for stopping in. I know that we're gonna stop by. We're gonna go by our sponsors, 20 Past 4's owner's house. He's a phenomenal cook, and you're gonna grab some grub.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I heard they're cooking elk and maybe some other wild game stuff.
Welcome to Montana.
He's going to be whipping and flipping.
I'm hoping he's got some bear, because I had bear before, and I loved it. It was delicious. But I'll tell you, nothing like gummy bears. Nothing like gummy bears. It's its own thing.
Bear is good, man. It's really greasy.
Yeah.
It's super, super greasy.
Super good in soup, though, after you render it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had bear.
It's good.
Okay.
Levi, go ahead. Lead us in, my man.
So when you left SoulFly, you stated in an interview that you should have left 5 or 6 years before that. What made you decide to quit, and why not 5 or 6, that original first thought?
Well, I've talked about it a lot already this year so much, but it was time, and I knew it was time even 5-6 years ago. But basically, when COVID hit, just the right thing wasn't done, and that was my time to get out of there. And, and I'm excited. Everything I got going on now, illnino, we're having this whole new rebirth of the band, and all my solo stuff, and then my new death metal project called Revenge Beast is basically like where I'm leaving off from what I've done in the past, with the heavy kind of more death metal stuff.
Is that another band?
Yeah, it's called Revenge Beast, and we got a new record that's gonna be dropping probably within a month or 2 on Upstate Records, and I'm really excited for that project, because that's really a lot of the music that I brought to the table with like SoulFly. I'm doing now with Revenge Beast. It's that same style of riffing that the fans would know me for. So
dope. That is sick news for anyone that is going to be following Marc and his new adventures. I think it's always cool to restart, man. You don't have to be stuck in anything in life. There's one thing that I have figured out: you can be anybody truly who you want to be. If you want to be something, you just got to put the effort and dedication into it. So by you shifting gears, you're already getting ready to do a whole new adventure that your dedication.
Yeah, absolutely. And once this record comes out, I think people totally are going to understand why I made the decisions I made, because this new record with Revenge Beast is some of the heaviest stuff I've ever done. So I'm really excited for it to drop.
Nice, man.
Actually, Judd's got it tattooed on his chest. I just seen
Yeah, Judd. He's got the tattoo. That's dedication.
Hey,
That is dedication.
Jeremy, will you get a picture?
Way to go, bro.
That real quick, so we can put Christian. You know what to do.
Revenge was.
Yeah, well,
Splice it in there.
the music speaks for itself, man,
Just hit the red button, my boy.
My mental state of being letting me connect it, so I'm a revenge beast myself.
I'm
There you
gonna
go.
show the audience.
Boom.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So, all right. So you knew it was time to move on, man. So you're about to do some new legendary shit. You have a record of doing legendary shit. So I just wanted to bring up as a Tool fan. I asked you back, behind this, but like, would you explain your experience with Tool and if you ever had a chance to be around Adam Jones and Justin Chancellor or heard any cool shit behind the scenes with those guys?
Yeah, I mean, so I love Tool. I mean, obviously Tool's incredible. I toured with them with Nino. We did Ozfest 2002 with Tool in Europe, and yeah, I got to watch them every single night. You know, because we opened up for them, and they were just amazing. I mean, they're obviously such an important band. So yeah, I love Tool.
They kind of helped out Rock Sales too recently with Fear Inoculum. Nobody expected them to, independently just come back out and just crush it.
They gained a lot of new fans, and then the Taylor Swift people were like, oh, what the hell? Who's this Tool dropped?
Just
on the same
crushed
day?
Taylor Swift yet? And look what she did just recently, man. She just crushed the
Apparently that
whole.
album's good, though.
She doubled everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone in every music genre, and
Everyone I
Tool
heard
crushed
says
her,
good.
bro. Like,
Yeah.
and nobody expected that. It helped Rock out. Like, Rock's
Yeah.
still here.
After
Hey.
going silent for like 20 years, that's crazy.
Tool's one of those bands. I think no matter what you're into, everybody loves Tool. I mean, you can't not like Tool.
Was it weird to be around it backstage though? Did they have particular things that you know of that you're like, fuck, man?
This is like 20 years ago. I don't really remember seeing them backstage too often. I know that tour they were getting. I think Maynard was doing like some crazy makeup stuff, blue makeup and so I maybe didn't even see them without all the makeup on, but they were incredible just to watch, from the crowd.
Cool.
Maynard had COVID when he performed for me and Ty and
That's what I told him.
Spokane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
He didn't know it. He just got back from Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the first show they did was in Spokane, I believe, and he didn't know it, and then he had to cancel all of his shows right after.
Wow, incredible.
Shut down. What happened?
What was your favorite tour you ever been on?
That's a good question. I was thinking about that today because it's almost the 1 year anniversary when I went out and opened up for the incredible Nita Strauss. She's an instrumental guitar player, but shredder. But she also plays for Alice Cooper. Now she's playing with Demi Lovato.
Oh shit.
And
Massive.
and it was one of the best tours I ever did. It was like sold out shows every night last year. It was in December of last year. And they asked me to be part of it. I'm good friends with her boyfriend Josh, who's a great drummer and a really good friend of mine. He plays drums in Nita Strauss's band. And it was just great. It was like 3 weeks all over the U.S. And I just had such a great time. And it was awesome to play my solo instrumental stuff in front of her audience because it's very similar kind of music.
Okay.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah, it was cool.
Any memorable crowds that were just fucking insane?
Yeah, man. I think Chicago, we had a great show. I remember at Reggie's. That's a legendary place. But I mean, every night was great. It was sold out almost every night, and her fan base is just so fanatical over guitar playing. So I really felt like I was at home.
Cool.
Hell yeah, I bet. So you can fucking shred. What's your craziest groupie story?
You
Going
know,
on tour.
I mean, some things I could talk about, some things I can't talk about. But
Of course.
probably one of the craziest stories, and it wasn't a groupie. I wasn't involved with this girl. But I remember there was a girl years ago. It was somewhere in Maryland or Delaware where me and one of the guys, we got off stage, and this girl came backstage, and she sprayed everyone backstage with milk. And, I never. That was unbelievable.
What?
It was one of the craziest. And she asked everybody, do you like milk? And it was just crazy. It was, yeah.
you guys got come on,
That's awesome.
like female version.
Milk. It was milk.
Yeah. That's what I
That's
said.
awesome. Just
Like
fucking
female.
It was just very, definitely awkward.
Awesome. That's definitely crazy, right?
Yeah, it was weird.
Do you have any special roadies or anybody that you would like shout out that just stuck it out with you from day one? That is like you're a day one fan, and because they never get no shine, man. Those
Yeah.
guys. So I was just thinking, I was like, for the people that have hung on to you forever, man, those day ones are important.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I have a bunch. Hopefully I don't forget anybody. My good friend Andre Lacaros, he's been my guitar tech for years, going back to my very first tours with Nino. Now he's doing Korn.
Fuck yeah.
He's Heads guitar tech, and he's a very good friend of mine. And then my good friend Marc Rivera, who techs for me in illnino. Yeah, I've had so many great techs over the years. So many great techs. So, shout out to all of them, really.
Fuck
But
yeah,
off the
dude,
top
cool.
of my head, those two guys have...
Without those guys, shit it just doesn't go right, man. You know, so
it's very important to have a good crew, and these guys, they're definitely loyal and good dudes.
Okay. Do you think you're chasing your dream now more than you ever have since choosing a different path than SoulFly?
Yeah, definitely. I've always been a huge fan of instrumental guitar music, like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen. And it was even since I was a young kid, that was always my dream to go into that direction and make those records. And now I'm really just kind of focusing on that more. And it's the music I love. You know, it's definitely a lot more underground. It's not as popular as other styles of music. But it's what I listen to the most and what I love, and I don't care, man. When I hit the road, I don't care if I'm doing like a big tour like Nita Strauss, opening up for her in front of 1,000 people a night, or if I'm just doing like my little gigs by myself in front of 20, 30 people. As long as I got a guitar in my hand, I'm happy. So
yeah, it's like doing what you love, and I like that because we're doing what we love.
That's it.
Here at the Weekly Bust.
So you're on the road a lot. So where do you call home then?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Still, you're rooted there really well.
Yeah, my whole family's there. It's where I'm from, and we got the best pizza, so that's where I'm always gonna live.
What? I don't know. I love making pizza, dude. I say I'm the best frozen pizza maker in the world,
Hey,
bro.
frozen pizza's good, man. I like all pizza, honestly. Even when it's bad pizza, I'll tear it up and be like, "This is good."
Me too, man. I'm a pizza head, bro.
But I know the
There's a
difference.
time for any type of pizza. You
There
know what
is,
I mean?
there is, but I do know the difference between really
A
good
good pie and a
pizza
bad pie.
but I'll still eat a bad pie.
Okay, what's the worst frozen pizza? We can all have that discussion.
Dude, I don't know. I like mine thin, bro. So I like the cheap ones. I like the Jackson, and then I decorate them my own way.
I'm not even gonna go with frozen pizza because there are some good frozen pizza. I'm just gonna go with like Domino's in general. I just can't do Pizza Hut.
I'm not a big Domino's.
You don't like either of those?
Or
huh?
Pizza
Nah,
Hut.
I can't. You know, it's where I live. We got so many mom and pop.
Dude, you gotta
pizza
try
places,
Stage Line.
like full blown Italian restaurant pizzerias, like on
fire.
every single corner. So like to go to there really isn't any Pizza Huts or Domino's really in New Jersey because we got so many mom and pop places.
Judd,
That
if
makes
you
a lot
don't
of
if
sense,
you don't
actually.
take this man to have a slice of Stage Line pizza while he's in town, then you
go.
failed him.
Let's do it.
There's something wrong with you.
You failed this man who's a pizza guy.
Howard's.
No, not Howard's. Great Falls. You need to go to Stage Line, bro.
I'm down. I love pizza. I love it all.
I'll take him to Rosas when he plays in Bozeman.
Oh, there you go. That'd be good.
So coming from a grunge / thrasher band and a thoroughbred rocker, you gotta have some fucking nut shit that's gone on backstage. If you're anything like me, there's a lot of egos going around. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna tolerate too much shit. So backstage, have you fought anyone with any other bands while you're on tour or while you're at a fucking fest?
Oh yeah, a lot. But a lot of it, I allegedly, I should say.
Alleged. Hey, we have an episode called Allegedly, dude.
I've been,
Our very first episode.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah, we got wild.
I mean, listen, man. I'm just gonna say, there's always drunk idiots at the shows. They get dealt with, and it is what it is. But I'm not, I'm a nice guy. I try to avoid situations, honestly. But there is a lot of knuckleheads,
I mean, you've been around legends, dude. Like, so have you been around Sully? From Godsmack.
Godsmack? Nah, I never been around that dude. No.
All right. You've been obviously around Korn because you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great guys.
And their atmospheres fucking are wild. Obviously they were at the Woodstock incident of '99.
Yeah, when I toured with Korn, I think they were all sober by then, and they were very just kind of chill.
Fair. I'm actually really glad that you brought up the idea of sober rockers because I think and I'm an ex-addict. You can't be an ex-addict when you're an addict, but I'm a recovering addict. I haven't used in years and years. But it's cool for people because Montana is so stricken by fucking addiction and then use. We hear a lot of rock, and plus we're kind of stuck in the older days. We love rock here in this environment. And a lot of the best rock songs were, would call heroin rock. They were just written from heroin addicts that would go into their own world. How do you have you seen any of that firsthand? And do you think that it takes from some of those guys' music, from how they wrote it? There's plenty of examples that you should go from.
Yeah. I mean, you know, drugs are. Yeah, I never dabbled. I'm not into drugs at all, except for coffee. I'm addicted to it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it you know, it sucks. All the different people that get involved in that stuff. You know, it's sad because I think there's a lot of talented people that are drawn to it. You know, especially with musicians. You know, you get into music because you're addicted to it because it feels good.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of musicians have addictive personalities.
Comes hand in hand.
And it does, you know. Like, I mean, like, look at me. I picked up the guitar and I was playing for the last hour. I'm addicted to it. You know? You just got to find a good addiction and get addicted to something healthy.
Was it more hidden, or was it just like you hear about it in the movies? Was it just blatant in your face when you're on tour?
It depends on the people, man. You know, I mean, sometimes it's definitely blatant, and then other times it's a little bit more you know, hidden. People disappear and do their thing, especially with the harder drugs, and that's really sad to see because you know, you can't intervene and stop because they're trying to hide it from you. So
That's a fact. People don't want to change unless they want to. And this actually comes from our main man Christian over here, our camera guy. He wants to know who you're.
Christian got it. You got a mic, right? Is it open?
Yeah, it's on right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You speak it. You ask your question.
Which one are we at? Where did a lot of your inspiration come from?
nice.
Growing up and
Probably, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. Probably just a lot of classic rock. You know, when I first started playing guitar, it was like 1986. And, you know, my guitar teacher at the time, my older brother, we were all into classic rock. You know, it's like Deep Purple, Zeppelin, Sabbath, Hendrix, Cream. So a lot of everything that I do, it stems from that originally, is that more classic hard rock, blues style. And then from that, I got into all different types of stuff. But I'm fanatical over the guitar, whether it's jazz, classical, flamenco, blues. I love the guitar. Oh. And I love any kind of music that's based on the guitar. So.
Yeah, okay, sure. And so, who would you say is your favorite guitarist / band?
Man, that's a tough one.
Yeah, who is your favorite band?
I got so many. I mean, definitely off the top of my head, my favorite band of all time is Overkill. That's number one. They're a thrash metal band from New Jersey that I grew up seeing a lot as a kid. I love that band. If you never heard of them, I suggest everyone go check it out because, in my opinion, they're like the greatest thrash metal band of all time.
See, I fucking love thrash.
Yeah,
that's my shit.
They're the greatest thrash metal band, and they never put out a bad record. They never wrote a bad riff. They never put out a bad record. They've always stayed true to their sound. So for me, Overkill is just the best. You know, and then after that, Slayer, obviously, and you know, it goes on and on. I love all the classic thrash metal.
Have you been around your heroes? You know,
yes.
you always hear the story. You don't go around your fucking heroes.
You know, we toured with Overkill years ago actually, and I was so excited to tour with them. You know, and I got to you know, I ran into them around New Jersey. You know, from time to time, I'd always see them at clubs and go see when they would play and talk to them a little bit, but. To really tour with those guys and hang with them.
You didn't take from the experience?
No, they were the nicest guys in the world and just so cool with me and I'm just a huge fan.
It's fucking awesome when people are humble and they're huge. You know what I mean? We're getting like a lot of experience with some larger people, and when you get egos involved, and so they're not always humble. And some like it's cool when you get the cool ones.
Yep, and that's Overkill, man. They're just great dudes and incredible musicians.
If we had somebody to show you from Montana, it would be Empty Souls and Ghost J.
I had told him about our brother, actually. Yeah, I said, our brother, Kerry, he's out of Whitefish. If you need some musical connections out there, that's definitely the spot, and that is also the man that you want to get a hold of, is our brother, Kerry. He goes by the stage name of Hectic. His group is called MT Souls, spelled with MT Souls.
Cool.
And... They're huge over here, man, and you know we don't even have to talk about them on our show, but definitely you should look at them.
I will. I got to give a shout out too to Aquavaria and to Take No Shit and Switch Off Safety, and there's so many great bands here in Montana that every time I come here with Sober Up Productions, you know, Judd always puts on some great shows with some really awesome dudes, and it's always a pleasure to come out here and play in Montana.
Nice, dude. Nice,
yeah, dude. Thanks for that.
Where are we at here? I felt like it switched on us.
Have you wrote any music for any other groups other than your own bands? Or
yeah, a lot.
A lot.
And didn't get credit for it, a lot. And I think, you know, people that know me know exactly what. But yeah, I mean, I've written for I wrote a lot of some of my favorite stuff was those old Nino songs. You know, we wrote together. But probably my solo stuff again. I mean, that's my favorite style of music is instrumental guitar music.
Is that with help though? Do you like working with an individual as a producer or any shit like that, or do you just kind of like to do it all yourself?
I like to collaborate. You know, if it's that kind of situation, like a band situation, or if it's a producer that I like working with. Like, for instance, my last solo record called Rotation, I did with like my favorite producer, whose name is Zeus, and it was incredible to work with him, and he gets like the best performance out of me. So
I actually watched a podcast that had you featured. That the podcaster himself had something pretty fucking dope made for you. It was a plaque.
Oh yeah, Scott Boland.
Yeah, and
that was a cool podcast I did for Scott.
That was fucking legit, man.
Yeah.
That was really legit.
He's a great dude.
I ended up seeing it, and I was like, dude, we should fucking do that, something like that, dude. If I had more time, I would have tried to whip something together.
That's right. You guys bought me coffee, so we're cool.
It was cool as shit, man.
Oh yeah, keep the coffee coming.
That's
Christian.
it.
If you weren't a musician, what would you be?
So I was pursuing. I love boxing. On the side, I train people in kickboxing,
Okay.
Muay Thai, straight up boxing. And before I hit the road, I did New Jersey Golden Gloves. I just love boxing. You know, I had an uncle who was a professional fighter back in like the 40s. Back in the day when you would fight 3 times a week, and he was just a really great role model for me growing up, and he really turned me onto old school boxing, and then from there I got into Muay Thai and kickboxing. So I probably would have pursued it more. I probably would have wanted to turn pro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely a better guitar player, but I still love to train. I love it.
Was within your hands, no matter where you went.
Right? But I love to train still. I love being in shape. I train every day. I train other people at gyms. So it's important to me, and I love being in shape and keeping a positive outlook on stage, being healthy and putting on an energetic show. So
do you believe that because you came up in a boxing environment that's what helped you on the road with the mentality on the road,
Absolutely.
The mental toughness of all that shit?
Not even just that, just staying in shape. I'm not young, I'm 45, so I think it definitely really kept me like focused. Definitely kept me away from drugs. There was a lot of drugs going on in some of my past bands, and I never got involved in that because I was always training. Even if I was in the dressing room, I was doing my shadow boxing, my burpees. I was going for jogs around the neighborhood.
He ain't bullshitting either,
sprints,
by the way.
Kettlebells,
For those that weren't behind the scenes, they don't know, but he already asked us about, he's like, can I hit your gym at the boxing club?
I would love
We're like, fuck yeah, dude. I invited that. I think that would be a great idea for you to.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Because it has kind of that East Coast like feel. Actually, it's an older building. It has
that's what I grew up in.
Field, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a true boxing club to its core.
Well, that's why I train at my buddy's gym, Danny McDermott. He's a professional fighter out of North Bergen, New Jersey, and it's Little Mac Boxing.
Oh, there you go.
And that's where
shout out to those guys.
Yeah, shout out. And it's like that. It's an old school, New Jersey style.
Can we get the next slide, Christian?
Yeah. If you could live any other state besides New Jersey, where would it be?
I'll tell you, man, I love it out here in Montana. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I love the mountains, even where I live in New Jersey. Like, I grew up right outside New York City, but then I moved about 10 years ago up into the mountains, and I'm up in Sussex County, which is like up in the mountains, man.
Okay.
For New Jersey, it's up in the mountains. And
so probably like the Whitefish area, I think. For like
Is it hilly or is it like mountainous, as in with like peaks?
It's mountain peaks. For East Coast, it's about 3,000-4,000 feet above sea level. For East Coast, that's pretty high up. Otherwise, if it wasn't the mountains, and I like being on the ocean, man. I like Florida. I like the vibe down there. So
have you ever been to Australia?
Oh yeah, it's awesome there. Australia's beautiful country, one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. Just going, the flight sucks though.
I don't know why. I usually think about Japan, but it's been Australia a lot recently.
It's incredible there, but that flight is miserable.
There's my wife. My wife is watching the show. Check it out. He was playing all over that guitar, man. He's shredding.
Indeed, he was.
Nice guitar.
Okay, so let's debunk this fucking thing that we read on the internet.
Let's debunk it.
So apparently it's not true, but I want you to tell it. Is it true that you eat a jar of peanut butter and hard-boiled eggs for extra protein?
Not any more than anyone else does. I mean, yeah, I like hard-boiled eggs. Yes, I do eat peanut butter a lot, actually, but I don't. I don't eat a jar of it. I don't mix the two. That's the other thing. I'm not.
He says
eating,
he hates soccer too.
Yeah, I don't. I really don't like soccer. You know, it's crazy. You know what it is? I think when the internet first popped up, or at least like 20 years ago, people were just putting up complete bullshit. I don't know where they even got a lot of this stuff from, but I remember, like, even my Wikipedia was like, that's not true, man. I think the peanut butter hard-boiled egg thing is in my Wikipedia, and I think we tried getting it down.
That's
Maybe
funny,
it's still
man.
up. But, yeah, the stuff people, I'll tell you, man.
How many people have asked you about the peanut butter?
I've been asked that a bunch, you know, and it's like, yeah, man, I love peanut butter, but not any more than anyone else loves. I mean, everyone loves peanut butter.
The person that loves peanut butter the most is Aaron from 20 Past 4. Shout out.
Do you have any advice for any up-and-coming musicians about dealing with record labels or going independent and, the current struggles that you might be experiencing or that they could see coming?
Yes and no. First, honestly, I have no advice because this business is so whack nowadays. I was lucky to come up in like 20 years ago when I got my first record deal where there was record companies. We were Roadrunner with Nino, and they did a wonderful job pushing us, getting us out there. Nowadays, man, it's even beyond me. All I could say is just try to do as much as you can on your own. Get your YouTube channel up. Get your stuff up online. I don't know.
Market yourself, pretty much.
Yeah, market yourself. You know, I mean, there's people that are doing it. You know, and they're doing great, just doing it all on their own. So just study that business.
Do you think
mindset.
the internet has made it harder to connect to a record label now? Because
there's so much.
Well,
there's so much content out there now.
Yep. But the good thing is that you can do it all yourself now, so that's kind of cool too. But I don't know. I'm old school, man. I like back in the day, like like it was in the '80s, man. You know, when Molly Crew was packing stadiums.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wish I was just a kid then. You know.
Yeah, but you've been on some fucking huge stages, man.
Yeah, I have.
Like,
Yeah. This last summer we just did with Illnino. We opened up for Metallica at Hellfest in France.
Yeah, dude. I was just gonna say you were in Europe and all types of shit, dude.
We did all the big festivals this last summer with Illnino, and then we just did that Louder Than Life.
I got a
with
fucking
Kiss.
serious question about this because, like I said, I am a rock fan myself, and I seen some shit go on, and Metallica's got canceled again because his ass is in fucking detox again.
Oh, really, James Hetfield?
Yeah, dude.
Well, I think he's better when he's drinking, honestly. I'm not personally, but I think he is.
You know, he said he fucking canceled, a few. I know it was a grip of shows, man. Like, and what did you have to experience any of that ruckusness when you were on tour with him?
No, I never. I saw them from a distance, but Metallica's on a whole other level, man.
Sure, I get it, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we saw. I remember seeing them backstage, walking to the stage. That was about it.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude. It's probably hard to get close to any of those guys at that point.
Yeah, and I like to give people their space, man. I don't really. I don't like hound people,
Fanboy or anything.
Have
you fanboyed? For who? And I
I'm
want to
trying
know.
think, who?
You gotta have.
Probably. I mean, honestly, okay. One of my favorite guitar players, Tom Morello from Rage Against the
Fuck
Machine.
yeah, dude! I was gonna ask you.
I was at an airport bar, and we were playing the same festival down in South America, and he walked past me, and you know what? All I did was, "Hey, Tom." Fist bump, and I was just like, "Hey man, big fan, love your playing," and that was it. And I was happy with that.
Oh
that was
man,
it.
yeah,
I didn't. And he was cool. He's like, "Thank you, man." And I was like, "Yo, that was great." I fist bumped Tom Morello.
Fuck yeah,
one of
dude!
my favorite
That
players.
is fucking dope.
Yeah.
If you and one other artist could make an album, who would it be?
Fuck yeah.
Tom Morello.
Oh, really?
Gang
Oh
members.
yeah, I would love to work with him. He's a big influence on me, and I love Rage Against the Machine. So
Who doesn't, man?
right.
I heard they're supposed to be going back on tour.
They are. They already are. Yeah.
I think they were, and Zach De La Rocha, I think he hurt his leg or something.
Yep.
It's funny, I'm not really into rap music, but I love Rage Against the Machine. They're like one of those bands that I just love. So
They got their own genre of music,
Exactly.
I think, man.
Yep.
I don't think it's quite rap or it's not rock.
Yep.
I think it's called Rebel Rock.
I don't know what it is, but
Man,
I don't
that's
think there's
kinda
anybody
bullshit,
like
then.
them. There's nobody like them.
Hell no, Rage is awesome.
yeah, they are.
I say Rage on.
Yep.
You came up in the middle of that grunge, and it came up, and it was gone within the early 2000s. What was your favorite grunge guys back? Who and I want to include Korn in those guys too, because they kind of fit into that genre as well.
They were more new metal. They kind of Korn started the whole
yeah.
new metal thing. But for grunge, probably Soundgarden, Alice in Chains.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are my two favorites. Was
I feel like that was
Soundgarden.
the turning point. You're right, man.
Alice
You're
in
right. That was the
Chains, yeah.
turning point of Korn.
That was like the heavier bands out of Seattle. So.
Yeah, that makes sense, man.
What's your take on Creed?
Honestly, I
That's a
like.
fucking dope question, dude.
You know
I
what?
know it.
That's
That's
funny.
a good question.
Honestly, I like Creed, man. The thing is, I love a lot of back to like classic rock, man. I like
Yeah.
a lot of classic melodic.
You think
hard
they take
rock,
a lot
you
of
know?
unnecessary hate? Like Nickelback?
I think they do.
Oh, definitely
I think they
does.
do. You know, I mean, maybe because the whole religious thing for some people turns them off.
What about Nickelback then?
Dude,
Love 'em.
people hate Nickelback. I like Nickelback. I think they write great rock songs, man. You know,
If he
I mean,
loves Nickelback, you
but,
love
yo,
Nickelback.
and listen,
Stop lying.
and here's the thing, I'm open minded
Sick of that
because
shit.
like I love the most brutal death metal. Like I love Cannibal Corpse. I love freaking
was gonna say, I know
Suffocation.
Christian
Dude, he's gonna chug himself.
To me,
if you keep talking names
like
that.
Nickelback is just great hard rock, man. You know, and if
Good shit, dude.
I like it, you know, I'm a rock fan, so.
Hell yeah.
dude. Hell yeah.
You still own a record label?
Says they like Nickelback. So you.
Basically, my label that I started years ago, Flamenco Records, it was just to put out my own solo records and my friends' records, you know.
So why don't you still do that?
Yeah.
It's not something
I
I mean,
I just I don't know. I wound up Shrapnel Records put out my first solo record then, and then I just kind of didn't have time to really invest in it anymore.
Bro, so that during that interview,
It's a lot
that
of
you
work,
had,
you know.
that you had some album covers that you even questioned. You're like the record label fucking put me onto this, man.
Yeah, sure. You know, when I put out my first two records with Shrapnel, they wanted pictures of myself. Yeah, some of them were just, I don't know.
I don't want to bite on that guy's interview. I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was like, well, why don't like?
Yeah, I was
What
younger.
was it like for you? But like, dude, I don't want to fucking do that, dude.
Yeah, I really didn't want just like a picture of myself, but that's kind of the history of that record company, Shrapnel Records, was always a picture of the guitarist on the record. So, yeah,
Gotcha.
wasn't my choice.
I can ask you. What is the longest time that you just had the opportunity just to shred? Do you remember having a moment like where all the spotlights are on you? You got devil horns flying behind you,
because I
flame
think we could
pyros.
match it.
Yeah.
We just don't have an amp.
I
was like, we'll let him rip.
probably. I mean, listen, I play all day long. I love it. But for a minute in SoulFly, I was doing a guitar solo section, and it was getting longer and longer every night. Specifically because I was doing it on purpose just to piss off the manager. But I never ran out of ideas, and I loved it. It was fun. You know, I mean, I could listen to guitar solos all day long. So, and I get paid per note. So,
So
no, I'm
20
joking.
minutes?
I'm joking.
Gonna get up to 20
Hey,
minutes.
20 minutes is cool with me, man. You know.
Is that all right? Hell yeah.
So we brought up some of the headliners that you've toured with. Who was your favorite to be around, and maybe not be around, but who to go on tour with? So like, who brought the best crowds?
Off the top of my head, this last summer we toured with Five Finger Death Punch, and I love those guys, man. I love that band.
I feel like they get unnecessary hate too.
I don't get. Listen, they got a huge fan base, but there are haters out there, and I don't get it because I think they're like an awesome metal but hard rock band. They're incredible musicians. Ivan is an incredible singer. I love his lyrics. I mean, I think
Good person too behind the scenes.
awesome dude.
Yeah.
Those guys, all of them. Zoltan, my good friend Andy James is now playing guitar in the band. The bass player Chris. All the guys are just awesome dudes. They're sincere. They're awesome to their fans.
That's cool, man.
You know, they're just great. And so we did. I toured with them years ago, about 10 years ago, and became good friends with those guys and hung with them. But this last summer, I got to hang with them again, and it was just awesome, man.
You like
And
the crowds, the atmosphere they bring too. Yeah.
everything about them. Their fan base, their music, I love. The guitar playing is incredible. Ivan's an incredible singer. Just everything is great about them.
Dope, man. Have you seen any cool props out there on tour? Like people just bring the dopest shit with them.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some weird stuff. I remember one time years ago, we were in Russia, some weird place in Russia, and some fan threw an exact replica of our old bass player, like a voodoo doll, with a nail going through it.
Wow.
And I was like,
But
oh,
is it could it be a compliment coming from the music,
don't-
like the death
yeah.
metal? Like, is it a compliment?
don't know,
They're like,
man.
you're fucking nailing it, man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man, but it was creepy, man. I mean, it was a little doll, and they got his tattoos perfectly. It was really creepy, yeah, really creepy.
Who do you think the best guitar player ever is?
Oh man, there's so many.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, right now, I think one of the best like shredder guitar players is Andy James, man, who's with Five Finger Death Punch, man. And he's incredible player, man. The stuff he does just blows me away.
Does he beat you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Have
I
you
mean, he blows me out of the water, man. But I'm inspired. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
like when I see someone that blows me out of the water, it inspires me to even play more.
You're like, I'm gonna try to step that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know? Have you ever met Adrian from Adrian and the Sickness?
I don't know who that is. Who's that?
She shreds. I seen her at
Oh,
Rock in the River.
oh,
she
yeah? Okay.
plays with Hell's Bells now.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Hell's Bells. Is
Yeah, you
female-
got to get on that venue,
female-
dude. That's where you
I'll check
got to
it out.
get them at Rock in the Rivers.
LS.
Cool.
You'd fucking love it, dude. It's
check it
a
out.
fucking rock scene that
Nice.
is
Yeah.
it's a cool Montana rock scene, man.
Good.
That you would probably have a really
But
fun
she's
time
the lead
headlining
gu-
or something one of
Awesome.
those nights because it's like a little festival.
Yeah. All right.
dope,
Check it
bro.
out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Adrian is from. She's now the lead guitarist of the female
Mm-hmm.
AC/DC.
Cool.
Hell's Bells.
I'll check it out.
She fucking rolls.
There's a lot of great female guitar players out there right now. So many great players.
Yeah, it's cool seeing them come up, man.
It
Oh.
is, indeed.
So we already watered that down, but I definitely have a comparison for you. Who is better, Stevie Ray Vaughan or Santana or Jimmy? Who do you? And, you know, they have their unique styles, but they're also kind of similar because they have that abstract style on all of them.
That's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Jimi Hendrix just because I love everything about Hendrix. His playing, his songwriting.
His story's
he's-
cool, too.
His lyrics, everything, man. Like, I'm a huge Hendrix fan, and I just, he was one of my biggest inspirations as a kid and still to this day, man. I just love everything that dude ever wrote, man. So,
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm surprised that you went the Jimmy route. Really, I don't know what route you were gonna go. I'm just surprised that you went the Jimmy route, man.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan. I put a lot of Hendrix in my set. Like at tomorrow's show, I'll probably play 2 or 3 Hendrix songs.
Cool.
Where are
There's
you at tomorrow?
it's going to Shelby.
Shelby,
At
Montana.
the Montana Club.
Montana Club.
Cool.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then the next day, on the 28th, Glendale, Montana, Gunners.
Fuck, that's a long trip, dude.
And then the 29th, the Dubar Freakers Ball.
That's
Bar,
huge. That's gonna be
Freakers Ball.
fucking wild, man.
That one's gonna be
Excited.
good, dude.
Yeah,
25 years.
yeah. Oh, it is a 25th anniversary. That's right.
Oh shit.
That's gonna be a big one.
And then Christian has one that you
My-
ask it.
Me,
Oh,
this
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
dad got stabbed at Freakers Ball one time.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
That's true.
That is true.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, and that reminded me about the guitarist or whatever. But Chet Atkins or Les Paul?
That's a good question. A lot of people wouldn't know who those guys are, especially at your age, right? I'm figuring
he's a
you're
real
young.
Christian fucking loves guitar.
That's cool. Those guys were great players. I'm going to go with Les Paul because Les Paul was from my area of New Jersey.
Okay.
He's from Mahwah, New Jersey, which is like 20 minutes from where I grew up. So I was very familiar with Les Paul's playing. And I love Gibson guitars. I love the Gibson SG and the Gibson Les Paul. But Chet Atkins is incredible
Dude,
too.
I'm
He's
such
incredible
a big
too.
Chet Atkins fan.
Yeah, he's great.
Dude.
He put out a great record. I think it was Chet Atkins and Mark Knopfler because they're very similar. They do the finger picking, the chicken picking style of playing, and that's a really cool record. Check it out.
Yeah.
He'll be all
I
over
don't
that,
think I've
dude.
heard that one. Yeah.
Yep.
7-string versus 6. And why?
Good question. So I had switched to 7-string about 10 years ago, and I have a signature Washburn 7-string. I also had a signature BC Rich. But you know what? Nowadays, man, I'm gonna go with 6, man, just because I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of 7-string's cool, but I like just old school and you know
You
kind
kind of returning back.
Yeah, going back to my roots of playing
Cool.
more you know tuned to E standard style of riffing. Although in Revenge Beast, that's all done on 7-string. So just depends on the project.
Okay.
Man, you've been around probably the biggest fucking, hard, heavy rock band besides maybe Slayer, and that's Megadeth, man.
Yeah.
And they have the fucking rep and the fans and the record and, everything behind them, right? So you've been around Dave Mustaine and Marty. What's it like to be around those guys? And
So I never was around Marty, unfortunately, and Marty Friedman's one of my favorite guitar players ever. And Megadeth is one of those bands up there with Overkill, like they're one of my favorite bands of all time. But I was around Dave Mustaine, and he was always very cool. And Dave Ellison is a very good friend of mine.
that's so fucking rad, dude. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Yeah, it is
so
cool.
rad,
Yeah,
dude.
I got to play with Dave Ellison a lot in SoulFly. We did some recordings. We did a couple tours together, and he was a great dude to tour with. Great bass player. And then we toured with Megadeth down in Australia, actually. And Dave Mustaine was cool, man. I'm a big fan of his, man. He's
I wish my
super
fucking
talented.
Uncle David was here to meet you. He's
Yeah.
such a heavy rock loving
supposed to
dude,
be
man.
Nice.
And I called him actually prior to meeting you. And I was like, dude, you'll never fucking guess who we're interviewing. And he said, make sure you tell him I said fucking rock on, dude. He's a fucking real rocker, and he's the reason why I love rock at all.
Awesome.
And
that's the reason I got into Tool.
he's all like, dude, he's like, because he hyped you up more than I could. I was excited to call and tell him, and then he got excited to fucking hear about it. He's like, you have no idea. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Tell him to come out tomorrow to the show.
I'm definitely gonna call him and see
I'll see
what
if he
he's.
can make the Freakers Ball one. He's supposed to be
Yeah,
right down.
that's exactly what I was just gonna say too.
Cool.
Actually, Judd called you the Lorenzo Hunt of the guitar world, is what he told me.
And my wife said,
Oh wow.
we
We were just
back
watching
the
him
same.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
hell yeah.
You know.
Oh, Ty, the one about corn, that's you. You had that question.
Oh yeah, you had a music video that you shot about 10 years ago with El Nino that really had a Freak on a Leash feel to it.
Okay.
Do you know if the director had like the music director or anything had any influence from Freak on a Leash? Because it had that almost Fight Club feel. You go through like you were traveling with you. It was really dope. I just was wondering if you had any knowledge behind that and why it was shot that way.
I'm not sure which song it was.
But how can I live?
Okay, so that song, I was one of the writers on that song. I played all the guitar on that song, but I wasn't in the video. That's around the time that I had left El Nino, and they did it without me, that video. But it is a great video. You know, it's a great song. Actually, I have all the El Nino songs. That's probably one of my favorites. It made the Freddie Jason soundtrack. It's probably one of the most popular songs that we had in El Nino. So.
Yeah, it was a cool ass fucking video, man. I was just
is a good
watching it and it reminded me of that, and I was like, I wonder if you had any influence on that or anything.
Nah,
like that.
you know, when I do video stuff, I don't really like to get involved. That's not my, it's not my thing. You know, actually, I have a video production company with my girlfriend, and I just basically carry her camera and let her do her thing. It's CSNY Productions. She does all the stuff. Shout out and to Little C, and I just carry her cameras for her.
Are you gonna get married or anything, or how long y'all been together?
You sound like my mom now.
Just wondering. Just wondering. All right. Well, I'll skip that.
Is there one musician or artist that you just don't like?
Oh yeah, especially right now. But I like to keep things positive. But yeah, everyone's got somebody. So.
All right.
But
there's a question that is on every episode,
And it's on Judd for not warning.
and then if Judd didn't warn you,
it's all good. It's all good.
Then that is his fault, and you can put it back on him. But I'm gonna let Levi, my man, ask the
I ain't
question.
done it in 3 episodes. We gotta know, how big's your dick?
Listen, I'm Italian, and I don't know. I stretch a lot. I don't know. I do a lot.
Yo, dude, that's what Christian said.
I do a lot of squats,
Christian said that, dude. He's like, I stretch. He's like,
Stretch Longstrong. That's
I do
Kristen's nickname.
a lot of burpees and a lot of jump squats. I don't know.
well, man, I want to say thank you for coming on the fucking show. It's been awesome. We're gonna market the piss out of you, and we hope that we can maybe sell out some future seats for you and connect you to a world that we can offer you just by coming onto the show. I think you've developed a cool relationship just by getting to know you here, man. And I really
Thank you, guys.
appreciate jumping off the plane and jumping in the studio.
Oh, I didn't jump off the plane. We landed. I'll never go skydiving.
No,
Really?
Ty said he wants to.
I'm going, dude. I'm going, man. I'm a
Oh,
mission.
yeah, I
Yep,
can't
I'm
do
doing
that,
it, man.
That's not for me, man. Heights freak me out. But
We got to thank our sponsor, 20 Past 4, man. We're going to go right to his house right afterwards. We got some grub to go on there. Shout out to Mike.
I'm looking forward to that.
Anything you got to say, my man?
I
And
just wanted to know, if
Jamie
there
as
was
well.
one thing you wanted to know about us, what was it?
Oh, good question.
Well, I'm staring at a bong. So how much pot do you guys smoke a day?
Honestly,
As much as I can.
I only smoke at night, so probably a half a gram. I'm gonna be honest.
All right, I don't even know what that is. I don't smoke, but here's a funny story. I probably shouldn't even tell this, but it's funny because I'm in Montana again. So the last time I was here, I flew in. We drove to Idaho. I was exhausted, right? We flew into Montana, drove to Idaho, and I shouldn't even be telling this story, So anyway, because I don't smoke, I'm not into
Allegedly.
it. It just doesn't. It's not for me, And I woke up. We were in this cabin in the middle of the woods in the Rocky Mountains, and I was starving, dude. I woke up. I was so freaking hungry. And Judd over here, he had made me a plate of like food from the night before, right? It was like sausage and a bunch of things, and there was 4 cookies, you know. And I was like, dude, I am so freaking hungry. I don't care what. Like, I don't normally. I try to eat healthy. I try to keep away from cookies, but like I woke up this morning, and I was so hungry, and I had a cup of coffee going. Nobody was there. This guy went on some riverboat trip, disappeared for 4 hours. I ingested those 4 cookies because I was so hungry. And I sat down, started playing guitar, and I thought I was having a heart attack. It was the worst feeling. It turned out there, and I was calling people like, "Can someone please tell me if it was an edible?" Thank God someone confirmed that there was edibles at this party. I would never have took that if it wasn't on accident, and it was the worst feeling in the world. I thought I was having a heart attack. So anyway, I don't eat cookies in Montana.
The shitty part about it is you have to be given 4 of them.
Yeah. Shout out to our auntie Jamie too. She's our other sponsor. She's one of the day ones.
And
yes,
Jamie, St. Mark's, good job. And if we could you rip a little on that thing for us again?
I would love to. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
dude.
We don't got an amp, but I can.
We don't got an amp. So everyone's just gonna have to listen.
We will.
Yeah,
Next
we
time.
will. I couldn't get the phone answer.
Because I feel like that would work if it would come through the headphones.
Oh, see, he even wants to come up through the headphones. All right, listen.
All right.
Put the mic up.
It'll sound better when you come to the show tomorrow.
That's right.
He's a shredder, man.
And for you local Great Falls, come out to the Freakers Ball on Saturday?
October 29th.
October
Saturday.
29th, Saturday, Du Bar.
It's gonna be wild.
Shout out to Kill Eagle. We'll be at the fight.
So,
Oh, you didn't answer. I saw something touring with Drowning Pool. That's a good thing to talk about. Can we do that real quick?
fuck yeah,
let's talk
dude.
about that.
Yeah, man.
So
We were just really
What?
on.
I was there for that.
where are you? Yeah. So all right, that's a good question right there about what it was like touring with Drowning Pool. Those guys are some of the coolest dudes. And I first met them in 2002. We did the Jägermeister tour. It was illnino, Cold Chamber, Drowning Pool.
That's got to be one of their big ones. You let the body hit the floor tour.
that's
Got to be huge.
Yep. And that's when Dave Williams was alive. You know, rest in peace. He was the coolest, nicest dude in metal. It was amazing to tour with Dave and get to know him. And we were with him the night before he passed. You know, unfortunately. But yeah, just nothing but amazing things. You know.
Cool, man.
That
Like,
we had with him. He was an incredible dude, incredible singer. And we remained friends with those guys. And then we toured with them a couple months ago with Nino, which was cool because I hadn't seen them in 20 years.
what was it like?
It was like 2002 all over again, minus our good friend Dave Williams. You know, not able to be there, but it was
That's
great.
fucking sick, man.
Yeah, it was cool. They're a great band. So
What was one of the most memorable experiences that you guys had as bands together? You know, hanging out, vibing together.
yeah, just vibing, jamming with those guys. You know, CJ the guitar player is a great guitar player, and we always hang out and talk gear and talk guitar stuff, you know. And I remember hanging out with Dave Williams the night before he passed. He gave me a copy of the Second Down record. He had an advanced copy of it, and I'll never forget me and him hanging out on the bus and listening to that record.
You still got it?
I think I still have it at home. Yes.
That's fucking sick, dude.
And he was just a great dude. So.
My wife has had me ask you as a nerd. Have you ever nerded out and gotten any autographs yourself?
Nah. You know, I'm not really an autograph kind of dude. You know, I mean, I have no problem signing autographs. If people want that, that's cool. You know.
Yeah.
But for me, like if I meet someone, I dig just meeting someone, getting a fist bump. There you go.
I think I'm getting to that point because I've had autographs, you know what I mean? But like you just start meeting people, and I think it's because you know you get it so much, especially when you're on tours and shit.
Yep.
I think I'm starting to feel that is a thing as well. Like, you know, it's cool, but I'd rather hold on to
it's
that moment.
For me, it's about the music, man. You know, it's just going to see the show and just the memories of a great concert and listen to the records and everything. That's what I love.
Yeah. Well, Mark, thank you for jumping on, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
It's
thank
time
you
to go
guys.
get some
Thank
grub
you.
on.
Yeah, let's go get some food.
eat, man.
We are.
Break bread.
The Weekly Bust.
Boom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. It was good.